The Surface Art tools are designed to be the finest tools a stylist can own. Completely ergonomically correct and being able to create the finest in cutting and in styling. The first tool we'll share with you today is the Surface Flare Thumb Offset. Some things to really watch when buying a shear to make sure that you're maximizing the comfort and ease of cutting is the thumb, making sure that it's a flare. Most thumbs are round and they're too much flex on your thumb base. What we have here is a flare. It's wider at the top, it's a teardrop shape, so it completely fits over the thumb. There's no slip to it. The next thing to really watch, and please try this, take your thumb and put it to your fourth finger. That's where most shears are offset, and you'll see the stress running through your wrist. What we've done is we've had our engineers move it across from the third finger, giving you total control, and there's also a control base for your two fingers to sit. Now, let's go through a step-by-step and learning how to work with the swivel. The first thing that I'll ask you to do is take the Surface swivel shear and sit it in your hand. You'll see it's unlike any other. We have a tang specifically designed for your little finger for control. We've got the two bases in the middle and your fourth finger sits. Now you've got it, don't put your thumb in yet, just take it and point it at me. Take your bottom four fingers that the shear is resting on and turn it across your body. Turn it back, turn it the opposite way. Your shoulder should be nice and relaxed against the body. Forwards and across, forwards and across, forwards and across, forwards. Now what I want you to do is just take the thumb, so the flare, the wider point is to the top, turn it towards the hand and put your thumb in. Where you're at right now is the thumb is pointing down the blade towards you. So what I want you to do is keep your thumb pointing towards me, but take your bottom fingers and just lightly with your little finger on that tang, your first finger on the top, your ring finger in, and I want you to take and put the shear across. As you're doing it, lightly open it up so you've got room for it to pass the hand. For it to pass the hand. So we're in, we're open, and we're past. So you can see now how I can very easily cut left, and I can very easily cut right. A technique that we use quite often is walking, where the shear doesn't close all the way. It just lightly moves left and right. Okay, now close it, point back at me. What I want you to do now is point it down flat, your thumb went against it, and turn it across the body. So right now, if you're right-handed, Surface is pointing straight to the top. If you're left-handed, it's pointing to the bottom. Now, please note that the Surface swivel has been sharpened specifically for both a left-handed and a right-handed person. It is a phenomenally sharp shear with a specific diamond hone on the edge to cut with equal pressure. Here's the reason. As a right-handed cutter, when I'm cutting the left-hand side of a horizontal line, I want to make sure I'm cutting directional. And look how even I can cut. And when I move the other way, my bottom four fingers that hold the shear, simply turn it, and we work in the opposite direction. Very easy to work in around the face, with total control. It's your bottom four fingers that really control the direction of that blade. On through the top, my elbows down, and I'm always in total control of cutting that very clean line. Now, one of the other key notes to notice is how has my shoulder been this entire time? My rotator cuff feels great. You'll put an extra 5 years onto your career, because if you're not cutting with complete control, you look like this. Your shoulder is up in the air, and when you're cutting, it's at burn by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It feels like there's a torch on your back shoulder. I want to make sure that you do the best work and take care of your body. So taking that line down, and away I go. And the Surface shear comes with lifetime free sharpening. And the key with the lifetime free sharpening is to make sure that we always have the perfect edge. And you'll be able to go to surfacehair.com, go to our tools, and get the information as to where to send your shear to and how it comes back to you. That information was also with the shear when you purchased it. Now, if you want to stay with the traditional offset, what we've done with the offset shear is we've moved the thumb to be across the third finger. We've teardropped the thumb. We've widened the base so that you do, yes, have an ergonomically correct control. So that's your traditional offset as well. And it comes with the free sharpening as well. You'll see what we're working with is the surface flare thumb swivel. It's wider at the top, so when I pick up my shear, my bottom 4 fingers control it, my thumb goes in and points in the direction of the blade. My shoulder and elbows can always stay down, and I can work with a beautiful straight line. And what we're going to work with here is a little bit shorter in through the corner, and as I cut, I actually swivel slightly under, leaving a nice strong outer perimeter edge. Then when I go to the opposite side, my 4 fingers holding the surface shear, turn it, and we'll be able to work in the opposite direction. Again, wanting to create more strength on that outer perimeter. Let's take this down and take my shear, turn the base, and I'm going to use a technique called walking, and that's just where the thumb just slightly moves. And we're going to walk out to our guide. We're not slide cutting. My thumb is always just lightly moving. Just for a very light blend line. Just lightly move that thumb. The reason I'm not slide cutting is I want more strength on my outer perimeter. We're going to work with the exact same technique of creating the frame in behind the eye. Taking it nice and strong. And now here's where I want a little bit more collapse. I want this to fall a little bit tighter. A stronger outer perimeter edge again, always cutting directional. Turn the swivel so I can work forwards. The surface flare thumb gives me complete control. We've dropped our top section down now, and we'll take the area that we've used the surface razor to shatter, and I want this hair to lay a little bit stronger to the front. So instead of the razor, we're going to work with the swivel. We're going to pick up our guide, and we're going to use a technique of walking the shear out. So we're going to come to the side, palm to the head. Here's my guide. Shear comes in underneath, and I walk. Let's take this down. Blend my fringe from the opposite side. Now watch how my hand rolls under, and I'm creating a beveled 45 under, just lightly fluttering that thumb, letting that line go down. All the way out to my length.
Bring my swivel in, a nice long snips, and then my second section moving to the right. Again, cutting directionally, I'm going to put my comb up high in my hand, step to my side, come in and carry. Have Alexandra tilt her chin slightly, make sure my comb's out of the way. Again, I'm cutting over top of the fingers with my surface swivel, and we're just going to walk that shear down and create a real slight, soft angle with some nice movement.
You'll see that about 50% or more of our work is with the razor, but it's not any razor. This is a Surface titanium razor. It's a polished titanium, a scuba grip, 7-degree angle. It fits the palm of your hand for total control. The next thing that you'll notice is the blade itself. The guard is not metal. It's a soft silicone, so it really slides across the hair gently. It's important, just take it and feel that line. Now, you'll notice also that it's a very long blade, and the majority of your cutting happens on the first 2/3. So after about 5 haircuts, you can take it, you can flip it, and you can turn that base around. The blades come into a 10-pack with 1 empty hole for you to be able to put it in, take it off, and put the next one on. Let's go to a couple ways to really learn how to use the edge. The first thing I'm going to do is pinch it so the thumb is facing towards me. The next thing I'm going to do is wrap my fingers around the outside, and then my finger can rest on the edge for very soft, gentle cutting. Now, when I go to hold my comb, what I'll do is I'll put my finger in and I'll flip the back. And you can use your ring finger or you can use your 4th finger with that, giving you maximum control. Now, the beautiful cutting edge and also your control with your hand around. Let's see a couple techniques in working with it.
So I'm going to pull that hair up. I lay my blade nice and flat against the hair before I shatter. And we're going to shatter that length right off. There's my guide, and I'm going to do some nice soft shattering downwards, creating a descending layer. softly shatter all the way forwards, creating a soft, airy line. My blade in, and just all the way out to that point. Now I'm going to do my next section right beside that one. So I'm working in pie-shaped sections. Comb that hair up nice and smooth. There's my guide, all the way up to the top.
Now to personalize, one of the techniques we're going to work with in separation is weave cutting. So let's take this section, drop it over the eye, and comb it nice and smooth. And you'll see that I've taken our TK2 comb now and I put the blade in and out, in and out, in and out. Turn it up at a 10-degree angle and just lightly slide out to the end. I'm going to come in and use a vertical framing to push that hair just as I want it to move. Hope you enjoyed some of the techniques that we worked with the razor. When it comes to the surface comb, you'll notice that we have a contour grip for your thumb to sit into. So it's very easy to control it and turn it from the wide to the narrow side. The comb itself has a target parting tooth. It has a slight degree angle, 7 degrees to be exact, on the way down, so you have some really clean target parting. The teeth themselves, too, are all polished and rounded. It's a carbon silica comb that also is infused with TK2, which is a tourmaline Kawasaki, to really help condition and control the hair as you're working it through. The surface brushes. To start with, what will work is our paddle brush with a scuba finish. The bristles are also TK2 coated to really help the hair dry faster. You'll find about 30% of the time quicker because the cuticle lays down nice and tight as you're brushing through and blow dry. The round brushes, the 3-inch and the 2-inch, are vented in the top so the heat can come in and out. Keeps it very, very even. You have a nice even transfer of heat across the top, and please notice the handle. You'll notice that the little bumps that we have on the handle are designed so that they can increase the blood flow. One of the challenges if you do a lot of round brushing, your blood flow doesn't circulate properly through the hand. Many people even complain of numbing or their hand falling asleep. You'll find the handle really helps the blood flow. The bristles themselves also have the TK2 coating. The newest member of our tools is our Basu brush. The Basu brush, sustainably harvested bamboo base. The bristles themselves are a porous natural bristle so that when I put the Basu oil into my palm, put it onto my bristles, it absorbs into the bristle for beautiful shining onto the hair. This will be long hair's best friend, is the Basu brush. And what you're going to find is as you work with it more and more and more, it becomes better and better and better because of the Basu that you've applied to the bristles. So you're going to put your initials on the bottom so it stays at your styling station. My name is Wayne Grund. Thank you for joining us for Surface Tools. The other Surface Tools to be really aware of is our core cutting DVD. Our 5 core haircuts to be able to understand the sectioning map behind each one. Real true simplicity. To be able to see the techniques up close and personal with it. Then our trend DVDs. Along with those tools, you'll also find our 5 keys to success. And the 5 keys to success are: get your chair full, communicate effectively, do great work, make sure your guests can take care of their hair at home, and guest retention, on when and how to raise prices. The 5 keys of success are a fundamental program to really help grow salons. And what you'll find with Surface 5 keys of success, it's all about profitability in a green world. To be able to speak to the new consumer out there in the language that they're looking for. Surface is high performance, salon exclusive hair care that completely respects personal health and the earth. And the educational tools that we have to support it will help you be that much better of a day maker for your guests. Wayne Grund here again saying thank you so much for joining us, and let's create some great surface hair.